Hi there, sweet ones. So, today I met this lovely girl. Now I have a little bit of calm time as much as I know, but my cat is staring at me, so we are never sure. But, hey, baby. So I have a little bit more time and space now to ramble. I met this girl today, this morning. She's so awesome and lovely, and I gave some guidance and we also used some cards to that. But still, it's really different when you meet someone who actually want to see clearly. I mean, those who search for. Those who really want to see something and want to understand more about something or what it is. Aside from some people, it's nothing wrong in that in itself, but some people mainly want to focus on them, and they maybe also sometimes use questions or needs or so on to that is a need in itself, the attention, I guess, but to get that, and if you don't see that, and if you focus on actually resolving what they ask about, and they really don't want to do that, they really don't want to see it even. It's one thing not to see it, but it's a different thing to not even want to. So it's really awesome when you meet someone who is so ready. And afterwards she asked me, did you feel like, or hope you don't feel drained now? She's very sweet. And with that person, I don't see how anyone can feel drained, I don't think. So it's really, it's like you are given a lot, even if you are the one who so-called gives, or who focus in on helping her, let's say, with something. She doesn't know that, though, for sure, not yet anyways. Yeah, but it was awesome. Also with some people who have seen certain things. I'm not saying I've seen all the things there is, but some things. And yeah, for that, when I'm on that topic, maybe I need to cough, so yeah, you don't even hear if I pause, I think, so I don't have to say that. Yeah, my cat is eating something also. Yeah, so yesterday I saw this film late, to me it was late. I'm quite early when it comes to going to bed usually, but I've changed that now. I'm up all night. But yeah, so anyways, it was this film called Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. And I didn't see it from the beginning, but anyways, I kind of felt like that, like, hello, is there anybody out there, sort of feeling. So it was also very good to connect with her this morning, realizing that there are those who, even if you obviously don't see exactly the same perspectives, but still those who can relate pretty much. So otherwise, yeah, sometimes things you speak about, they're just way beyond or so different, so others don't understand, and you don't understand them. So yeah, almost. Yeah. Anyway, so that was good. But anyways, so this night I had this awesome dream I want to talk about a little bit. Actually not the dream, but the insights of the dream. And well, it was the dream. I think that film actually triggered that dream, because, and this is very difficult to describe, I think, but I will try. I dreamed that that there was no time, and there is no time. We know that from quantum physics and so, but there is one thing to think it, and totally a different thing to experience it. And I experienced it in the dream, and that was something special. So I kept that with me. I could not keep it with me. when I woke up, I realized that, okay, this is not a dream I should go around sharing. How can I describe what that is? But I share it here with you. So, and the thing is, when you think about that, when we think about timelessness, we often think, I don't know, what do you think? But there was a new revelation to me anyways, when I experienced it. It was that everything always happens, you know. People used to say, like, there is no past, there is no future, blah, 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 everything is now, and so on. But I never realized that every moment is always forever, maybe then. If you think about, I've told you that I like those Hindu myths and so on, pretty much. And they talk about Brahma when it comes to creation and expanding and all that, the universe. They talk about it as Brahma breathing out when the universe expands them for huge amounts of, let's call it, time then. And then when Brahma breathes in, the universe kind of unfolds back into the source, if you call it that then. And I think that's a beautiful, probably true as well. Maybe those black holes, like breathing in. I don't know. The universe is breathing out through the suns, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, back to the whole time. That every moment is forever then, if you would use that term, but that is like a time sort of term, so that's also weird, but that experience of experiencing that changes like a lot, because I was about to say something not so very nice about someone, which is true actually, but still, I mean, a little bit, not in a, I don't like, I've always been like, I cringe when I hear people like whisper about someone else, like this and that person, where like that sort of, that make me feel like nauseous, and I want to like throw up, and I totally dislike those situations. And I don't listen to it. I don't want to. I really dislike it, as well as knowing what rumors can do, false rumors as well. At the same time, I love truth, and I want to see that, and I also want things to, I mean, that things are, that it's okay to express those truths that you see, even if they aren't always flattering to other people or yourself even. But so maybe I sit too close to the mic. I think it becomes this strange sound sometimes. No, you can't let me know because I don't read comments yet. I will probably soon again, because of these insights also. Because what happens then or now is that I really couldn't, or I actually said something and then I felt no, because I realized this moment would stay forever. Okay, so, and also the appreciation of each moment becomes so much greater. And it's very, very difficult to describe this. If you haven't experienced it, then you know exactly what I say. But yeah, so yeah, so it goes like hand in hand, I guess, with the whole oneness in other things, not only time. That everyone is you and you are everyone, let's call it. So it was way clearer now that every time I speak, because all those facets or those fragmented selves that we are, the personality, I mean, I don't mean lots of fragments within each person. I mean that we are fragmented part of the whole and of the oneness. And how that is so much clearer now. I mean, how that is really an experience that because of this experience of lack of time. And through this little perspective or fragment self me, although I have this greater awareness as we all have, more or less in touch with, it's meant through this fragmented part that is the person people tend to see then. Let's say, God, this is very difficult to speak about now. Yeah. So here is where I can expand. It's a reason for that. I think I always thought that sort of you should go beyond that perspective to be, let's say, enlightened. I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying that I have a greater understanding and insight now, way greater than I have had ever, I would assume. And so, at least this perspective, at least this fragment of the whole, have greater insight now. So, so why did I even start talking about this now? Well, yeah. So that is the part where I can expand. The other, I mean, the whole is already the one is the awareness itself. Let's call it. That is already. That already have all yeah. So very enlightened. It doesn't sound like it. So yeah. Yeah, so it's impossible not to see with love, and I hope this stays. I hope I can keep this understanding, that I can embrace it, and that it's not. I mean, I would assume, and I am sure of that, I will always sway back into the wave instead of the ocean. But I mean, yeah, this is something I can't forget at the same time. And that is also one thing. And I've thought about that before, that the one you see, I mean, if you see someone in the eyes, it's the ones looking at you is yourself, and the other way around, let's, of course, also. And I kind of knew the truth of that, but I didn't really understand. I mean, now I really feel that in a totally different way. So it's very, very, very easy to love. And also when it comes to judgment and so on, this, if you come to Tarot, for example, and the last judgment and all in the card, since it's you yourself or me myself, that we are the judge, so it's a very, very good idea to unconditionally forgive yourself and to find a way to do that, because that is one huge step on the path to understanding who you are. And you also are the only one who can do it, and the only one who can keep you from it in one way. So it's like this oneness understanding that will, let's say, judge, which it then would not do, of course not, because it's it. you know, yeah, from our little smaller self perspective, we can judge ourselves, but from that understanding, we are not only everyone's perspective. I mean, considering that we are all the things that everyone have ever done, which is, if you don't say ever, it's time again, but I mean, all things, yeah, that's you. And in that, in the, how can I say, well, okay, we go to Jesus here now, because I don't know how to explain it. Jesus. It said this whole thing about anyone without sin throw the first stone, and sin is like missing the goal. Actually, I think it's actually, it means but anyways, what we generally mean maybe is that someone have gone wrong. That is a good expression actually, but yeah, anyways. So if there is anyone of these fragments of the oneness who have not that is without sin, that as he expressed it, or as it's said in the Bible, throw the first stone. No one will do that. When that perspective is there, and you realize that all these things that have been going on is me. Then in everyone, you won't throw any stones. You will also understand. It's not only trying to understand from that perspective, but sometimes here from this minor perspective, it can be good to try maybe to understand, and sometimes we don't, but that's okay. But yeah, so I don't know if you got anything of what I said now, but I got it. So yeah, so it's awesome really to see that, and not only everyone, but everything you meet in your situation wherever you are right now. You don't need to pull any tarot cards or do anything else, honestly, or listen to anyone teaching anything, because everything in the universe exactly now communicates exactly everything you need to know. It reflects perfectly what you need to know. It communicates. It tells you everything instantly. Yeah. So there is no it's not like random. It's the word, yeah. It's very, it's totally the opposite of random. Yeah. So, yeah. And then the preciousness of each moment, also since it will stay forever, and you can't fool anyone else. That's another thing. When this whole oneness, this is so amazing. I'm going probably nuts. But one other thing with this whole oneness is awesome, and that is that, you have to go around speaking to people in a sort of at the fragmented level. However can you speak actually, but still. Yeah. What was I going to say now about that more? Yeah. It's still awesome. Yeah. Yeah. What can I say really about this more? But about how you can't fool yourself. Sometimes we may think so when we also project a god, let's say, or goddess, or something outside of us, as if we could fool it. Not that that everyone does or so on, but we fool ourselves a lot. But that is exactly what it is. But we always know. Sometimes we try not to understand, but we know within ourselves exactly our intents, and we can't fool ourselves about that, and we can't, even if we aren't fully consciously aware of it, we kind of know that, oh well, maybe not, this is not totally blah blah blah, whatever it is, so that is the one part of us, that awareness is the one part that will judge us, but it won't. It will liberate us, yeah. So, and love us. So, but anyways, the judgment comes from that perspective. So we can't. There is no way. Everything stays, all moments, and there is still no way, because that can be a very scary perspective if you even think that could be. But for those who have done what they think, at least, is very horrible things. And yeah, but you couldn't do better than you were aware of that you could. And that is also the thing, that this awareness will know how aware you were. So if I, for example, understand these things and decide to, I could obviously. So I started not be so much Spinozist because I believe in free will here now. Let's see if I can ever figure things out here or understand them. But I could still be mean to people. I could say mean things about people and so on. Or I could, not that I've been mean to people, but still I could decide to say hurtful things. I could do a lot of things that weren't great. Or unloving, even though I understand this whole thing. And with that, I mean that there is a huge difference doing that from a perspective of awareness or not. And that is something we know. If a little child who doesn't understand a certain thing does something, it's way different than if someone does the same thing and do understand what they are doing, So we can't fool ourselves about the things we do. And the only way to actually find probably peace, but also love fully, is to actually not try to find excuses about what we have done or thought or felt or anything, because it is towards ourselves we make those. No one else is there. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. I'll never get many subscribers on this channel. Yeah, but so thank you for anyone who listens. Yeah, and that's also so fabulous because it's only me, you know? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter in one way. And all this, that's also why I get extra curious now on comments, because I see, wow, these perspectives of myself, of the one. Don't I want to hear those? But still I feel freer and liberated. And it is from my personal perspective I live. And it's from this I should expand. So right now I think it's in my favor. It benefits me more not to anyway, so I won't. But yeah, still I can't even describe this. Obviously it's nothing you can describe, but it's awesome. And it's also a little bit because it changes everything. Yeah, it's way different than just understanding it. And I also now see how you can, if I were to say, I'm saying it here, but if I were to say it to someone that I meet that don't see these things, it becomes abusive, actually. If I would say to someone that for example, I used to do that, and probably I will still, when it comes to like light-hearted things, I used to say like, oh, look at that, like whatever, if people have, I don't know, I like weird shoes, but never mind, but anything, just commenting on things with people because it makes me giggle almost. And I comment myself also, and I reflect to myself. It's not that I think I'm better or anything. It's more like, it's a humorous thing for me. But some people, especially like those in the, call it spiritual field, everyone is in the spiritual field. Anyways, I've heard that, but you should never do that. You should never say anything about someone else, like in a bad manner. So, and or talk about someone like if they don't hear you, like, and such. And I never meant it in a mean way though. But and I felt like that this is to be neurotic and overly stretching things, like and it is, and I think maybe, I don't know what their perspectives was, probably I don't know, it doesn't matter much, but that really is not even loving, you know. Because if you understand these things, you don't want to, you really don't want to, you feel like, wow, yeah, you just want to love all those awesome parts of yourself and all those who you previously thought weren't all that awesome. So yeah, so you don't ever need someone to tell you that when you have that insight. And before that, it's just, yeah, it doesn't really help anyways. Yeah. And it doesn't help to say to anyone that doesn't help either. So yeah. Well, it's interesting though, when it comes from not an outer kind of thought understanding of certain things, maybe, or at least close to, and experiencing it when it's natural, it becomes very natural. You cannot not do that. You cannot. Yeah, I think I just mess it up if I speak more about this right now. It's so new as well. It's very new. But I said in my last video, I think, and that is true, that consciousness knows and thought speculates, or intellect as well speculates. So I've been speculating a lot, and I like to do that. That's like one of my favorite things to do. There are maybe some other things that I love to do more, but I love that also. And there is always new threads to find, and it gets more and more complicated and all that. Yeah. But there is totally different to know. And you can only know through experience. And that is what I loved also with the Witchy and Wiccan path, that it's experimental. And you can be trapped in any kind of forms or words or practices or ideas. You can. So, and also all of them probably can be more or less liberating as well. So, yeah. Some days ago now, this felt like it was so. This still is so overwhelming. And as I said, it's everything. It's not only. It's like every moment you feel yourself as well. You know, knowing the whole thing, if it's knowing them, but in my mind, in my experience, it is now. That this will always be. You really want to. You want to. You know, appreciate it so much more. I mean, fully, because it will always stay. You want to be present, and also yourself, like your feet and your everything. You know, you get happy realizing these things. You get happy realizing that, or blissful realizing that it's here right now, and this is it. Yeah. And there is no way where you need to seek. But to do that is still part of it. So to find that you didn't need that. So yeah. we cannot not do that. If we seek, we do. If we have questions, we question. Yeah. So if we want things or feel things or whatever, we do. Yeah. So and that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought about some days ago to talk about Spinoza, because I found the ethics. I also found another little video where they spoke about him, because no one will have the energy to listen to Spinoza, I guess, to the ethics, which was my Bible for years. And also I had Tao Te Ching some other years before there that I read every day. But it's different to have the book and read it. But I loved it instantly, and I was never bored by it, although it's a little bit dry. The whole book probably, but if you really listen into what is said and embrace that, and or even just listen and I don't know, even if you question it or whatever, to me it's such revelations in that. And that is one thing that also, I guess, have a part in this experience that I have now, because in Spinoza's world and perspective, there is no or let's say it like this, I will put links to that beneath if you have and it's 9 hours or something, the whole book there, and I don't know, yeah, but I will put a link to it anyways. In his world, he's an anarchist, by the way. I realized that when I listened to the other little video there. Everything, it's like the stone that has been cast or something, they say sometimes. But it's like everything follows on something else, and everything also follows on numerous things. So there is no way it could not be as it is. And I truly actually embrace his perspective in that. So I don't know about the whole choice. I get divided when it comes to that still, because to have a choice may not be a choice, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, it's when you get to the, how can I describe this in a good way? The closer you get to the source, if he calls it a substance, the closer your consciousness comes to that, the more you realize, or the more you actually do have choices. From a different perspective, you don't, because and especially those who do those, I don't know, horrible things, obviously they aren't very aware. You can't say that they have a high awareness of things, at least not in those moments probably. But they are still God. They are still the source. They are still this as much as anyone. And they are you. They are me. So, anyways, that was not Spinoza. But, he talked about this, how everything have to happen. If it happens, it had to. And also he talked about that if something possibly could be, then it have to be. If it's possible to imagine, if it's possible to think like that, then it have to be. So everything that could be exists. And then, since this source is infinite with infinite possibilities, everything that is the worst or the best, let's say, everything must exist. And since time don't exist, as I realized recently now, tonight, everything exists also right now. Everything. And therefore, there is no way to sort of fight it. There is no way to try to avoid all those. It's almost like we think of it as if I don't know how to describe it, but let's say yin and yang then, and as if we could if we think that image, although I have a pentacle here on the image, we think that we could sort of change that balance. If we then call it even that, I mean, it's a oneness. It's it, and it's not divided. We see it like as if it is, but it's not, and so nothing can be excluded from that oneness. If we exclude something, everything else vanishes. I mean, it's impossible. So we can't. And therefore, when we try to make the world, let's say, brighter, or we do all those things, we won't change that everything exists all the time, constantly now. It won't change. Those horrible whatever things keep happening now, always, as well as the other things. But we can, how can I say? This is how I view it anyways, and maybe I'm off. Maybe I realize, and hopefully I realize something more to come. But also when you think about bodhisattvas, I thought about that the other day. What is it really that I wish? What is it really that I want? And so on. And one thing want that. I've always had that aspiration, actually. Not always, not when I was very little, maybe I don't remember. But at the same time, yes. Even then, that was sort of my aim. But on the other hand, I also want that guy or whatever, or most of all, I want this man. I don't know. Or, other things also. Yeah. But the thing is, this is, I don't know how to say, but as a bodhisattva then says in Buddhism, so I maybe have to dive into that more now to see if I can see if I see a possibility to that liberation, to that samadhi or nirvana. Samadhi is the space, as I understand it, where, or the state, or however you should call it, where you then have enlightenment, but you choose not to go into nirvana, emptiness or fullness of everything, let's call it. And having this form, this limited form, or this fragmented part of oneness, to see through that is to stay and to not be in nirvana then. And so some bodhisattvas, and this may also be like myths or sayings, just because that's the way to describe it at that level, but to stay and help everyone they won't go into nirvana until everyone have reached enlightenment. And I also wonder about, maybe I jump around now, but I wonder however that is possible then. But maybe it is when the world, when Brahma breathes in again. But or maybe so that, what if the oneness could fully realize itself? How is that possible if it expands? That is very difficult. But yeah, I don't know. But from that perspective, anarchy could be possible to realize. As also Spinoza, as I said, as I realized when I listened to that video, would be an anarchist if he ever thought it possible. But he thought that people are so driven by their emotion and everything, so probably But actually, in a way, you could say anyways he was an anarchist, because he thought democracy, or like maybe in a more direct manner than is practiced mostly today, always today probably. He thought that otherwise, he describes that also, otherwise we could just not have any like government or those kinds of things. So, but we are not so enlightened, we are not so aware, so that's possible. He thought it wouldn't ever be possible, not as far as he could see. But then again, maybe we do evolve. maybe that is the thing. Maybe we can reach that awareness, humanness as a whole. That would be awesome. I don't know. I guess I'm leaning towards Spinoza still a lot, because of all the things that goes on, and also not only that, because it sounds almost like depressive or like a negative thing, but it's actually very, very positive. In this, I mean, suffering, you wish never anyone would suffer and all that, but in this dualistic, from this perspective, in this form, it's impossible not to have contrast and the dualistic thing. You can't have one if you don't have the opposite. It's impossible. It like excludes the other thing, you know. And also we evaluate it from ourselves, that if it's good or bad. Maybe it's not from some other creature's perspective, whatever, you know. The things we label in certain ways, you know, or the things we may suffer from. But but when it comes to I don't know, but he anyways, Spinoza, he describes liberation. That's what he aims for. And how we can be as free as possible, how we can become as free as possible, and it's so beautiful. And also the liberation of not having to be angry at everyone and everything all the time, like or like judge it, because of the fact that it could not be different. It must be as, I mean, considering it could not be in any other kind of way, with everything that have been as well. So if we then talking, we have to, I mean, we have memories apparently and so on, and we can think of where will it go, things will show up in our lives, let's say, but they have always been there, as the past is always going to be there as well, which is awesome. It's actually totally awesome. It's so fantastic. And also in the Moon Key, I do some work. I work in the direction of the Jaguar now. You see, it makes me totally nuts. No, it's awesome also. But there you go, actually back to your own death. In this part of the medicine wheel, you go to also past lifetimes and liberate them. And previously, when I have done these past life regressions and so on, and sometimes I just relax to them, honestly, and nothing else, because I like them. But also, I've thought of it as in time, you know, and also never thought that you could cross that. But that's interesting, how you can go back and see, but not influence at all. I couldn't even, I never considered that fact. I just thought you could like objectively watch it and not influence it, but you can't. You influence it in a way or another, and you influence your life now and change that. And that is oftentimes when you talk about past life regressions, people reflect on something, whether or not it's your actual past life or whatever reason you see and experience that. It is something that reflects the now that you can heal and so on. That's like what most people say, work with that. But actually, you can go back and influence things. You can soothe those moments that were horrible, and not only that, you can go into the future and soothe. I mean, if you, for example, have a fear of death, I'm not scared, but I'm not in that situation exact now. So what do I know? I mean, you can just know in a certain situation how you would feel then, obviously. So, but I don't fear it at all as it is. And I have been close to it pretty frequently. I was almost going to say now, but I have been close to it several times in various ways. So, and that have never been a great fear of mine, actually, strangely, honestly. Maybe it's because I've never felt that it's the end. So that's just nothing. I even as a small kid, I knew about this other realm where that felt like home in a way more. Anyways, so so you can go back and heal your own passing, not heal it in the sense that you won't cross over, if you say, but you can be there for yourself. You can be that angel goes back into those past moments, or I mean also in this lifetime, obviously. And I knew that you could, I'd done that with Reiki, also gone back healing things in the past and so on, but this working in the shamanic sense and going back or forward, that is just amazing. How you practically can do that, also in journeying, but also in other ways with healing or with energy work overall. It's such an wow. I wish everyone would feel drawn to Reiki or shamanic work. Yeah. So, anyways, all these things have been like, I don't know if you should call them puzzle pieces, but they have been, parts of a whole that have been needed at the time to integrate certain aspects or certain things, and still I appreciate and have use for them. So, but I also know they aren't it. I know they are not the moon that the finger is pointing at. I know it's the finger. So as long as you keep that in mind, but also I think you really lose something if you think it's only symbols, or it's like as I've talked about this whole archetype thing. If you work with these forces without realizing it, they are real as you and I. It's in a different dimension, but it's real, and you can communicate and all those things. Unless you actually know that, you will miss out on a whole lot, I feel. But also if you think that is all there is, and if you get trapped in that will also be missing out a whole lot. And also that is that often, or maybe always, create fear. As if you step out from a certain way of viewing things or system of sorts or practices or whatever it is, that would be in some way or another dangerous, or so. That is living in fear. So yeah. So but I hear some people working with these kinds of things. It seems so, anyways, that it more seem like more just symbolic and not also real, and I don't experience the same thing as they do. To me, this is as real as it gets, as real as we are, although in a different plane of existence, you can say, or yeah. Yeah. I think this was a little bit too much, right? I was going to talk about witchcraft this year. How can I do that now? No, I can, because all of that is also awesome, and it's really an awesome path. Nature is awesome, and all these Sabbats and everything, and also the Espats and all that, the connection with the whole, that is what that is about, also to like widen your perspective, to really, really connect. And to me that was awesome because of the whole connection to the physical, to the body, and still I need that. I need to actually, and that also was one reason why this film, the Gravity film, was so, I don't know, I liked it. It was, I don't know, it was many parts of it that I liked. And also the whole coming back to, I mean, not back to, but coming into this physical, coming in down to earth like thing. That is practice I need to do more. Be here and now. And that's the only way to do that, is to also be in the more narrow-minded space. Otherwise you space out, yes. and you don't really go into this, and that is where you should be. I mean, that is the whole consciousness chose to have its awareness here through you or through me, you know, and that is meant to be. It's not meant that I should dissociate or distract myself from that, or favored another part because of, I don't know, and dismiss this perspective. This is what I have. And also when it comes to honesty, that's the really basic thing. If you aren't honest, and especially towards yourself, that's the main thing, then you will not be able to see truth. You will not be able to. You will fool yourself. And that is a difficult task, actually, to even have that ambition to be truthful towards yourself, because it takes a lot. It's easier to shut down and try not to hear, see, or listen, or anything. That's kind of the same, maybe. Hear and listen. Yeah. So, yeah. You need that. You need to, that's the path. That's the path, whatever you call the path. That's the path. Yeah. If you lie to yourself purposely anyways, then you confuse yourself and blind yourself. So, but then again, that's maybe not a choice at the time. So, anyways, I just love the whole thing with Spinoza, that it takes away the whole need to judge. Although when he talks about society and such, and that you need to prevent those who harm others and so on, but it shouldn't be done from revenge or those kinds of perspectives, because he talks about reason and how we usually aren't all that. We are more emotional most of the time. I think that emotions are pretty wise, though, actually, and that this source, or God, or goddess, whatever you call it, speaks through us even through all those things, not only through reason. It also, if we are truthful and we really listen in, and maybe also to all the perspectives that is expressed from within ourselves as well, we will know, and emotions are a good thing. Yeah, a guiding compass. And he also talks about that, but yeah, in a special way. Yeah, well, you can listen to yourself. Okay, I need to go now because I realized this was, it's always like that. As I talked about this previous spring, when I had a pre-enlightened experience, maybe you could say, that I didn't dare to fully. I was a little bit pushed by my guides, let's say, to break through, but I held back a bit because it was overwhelming as it was. I don't know what would have happened then, and even if I would have died, because it was actually critical. I was really sick later, so physically sick. So even if I would have, that would have probably been an awesome experience as well. So, but I hesitated and didn't. Whatever would have happened then, but I felt that that was out of my. I didn't know at all what would happen if I would have been so open and not if I didn't hold back from that experience. But a lot of things still there was a lot of things that I got aware of that I was not aware of before, and that weren't fully integrated, and I have had a difficult time to talk about them. At first I didn't, because it was too difficult to find words to talk about them, but I have talked about them a little bit, I think, briefly, some insights or some experiences that I had. Yeah, but it's very difficult to speak about something, especially when these things, especially when it's so fresh. But maybe it's then you should speak about it, I don't know. But so this, for example, this is totally new. I never understood that this could be something you could experience. I knew kind of, or rather I have heard that you could experience it, but I thought it and I believed it. I could think about these things, but to experience it is something else. It's very different. And yeah, as I said, the appreciation of everything is different. Yeah. And the love. Although I aimed for that as well. Unconditional love have been one of my aims as well. Including myself then, yeah. But now I experience what that is. I'm not saying I'm fully capable of remembering that all the time. That I don't know that yet still. But for now I feel much greater love than I've felt before. And also, this whole when you get insecure about things, whatever it is, to me, maybe my weight, I don't know. I don't have a lot of insecurities, honestly. Now I don't know if I have any. I don't know actually now, because of this perspective. Because, and it still is a perspective. I don't feel that I'm fully, I don't understand everything. But, and also then it is a perspective related to others' minor perspectives. So, yeah. Anyway, so, or narrower perspective. Yeah. So, but I realized that even then it's, if you see someone you think they are the most beautiful, or you have this or those things, and you may have flaws, you think, or you think the opposite maybe also, those who have worse kinds of, I don't know, even when it comes to the physical sense, how you look like or whatever it is, or traits of your character or whatever. And then you realize that this is me. Or they, and those who may judge you as well, or may look at you or frown at you, it's them. They look at themselves. It's themselves they judge. And when you know that, rather than just thinking it as a sort of a, I don't know, philosophical idea or sort of, so when you know that this perspective, then why would you be bothered by it, Yeah, it's just you. It's just you who judge yourself. And why would you let that affect your your love for yourself, or have you feel ashamed for anything, or feel lesser than or more than, no reason to. It's you. Yeah. And that's very funny. It's all you. Yeah. I will end now, and I think, oh gosh, I think it's good that I don't read any comments, and I hope not people that I know, like aside from a few that would kind of get what I say, that they won't listen. And I also wonder, actually now, wow, how is this now when it comes to love relationships, Oh, I mean, because this is so different now. But the whole love, actually that expands that love as well. And I'm very curious, because I think that, if you feel strong attraction, it's probably also, opposites attract. It's probably something that would really increase your expansion. And that means also it would really, you will really have to question yourself. You will meet things that are difficult to integrate with yourself, let's say. And I feel that the one that I have, that I'm absolutely, I'm so totally in love with at the moment, and for some time back, he have those, single still though, but I'm not available because my whole heart is there. But anyways, I'm available to myself, so yeah. Anyway, so I realized this is such a challenge. I guess I'm equally a challenge, if that would be any attraction from that, and then, but I mean, yeah, what a challenge. And I realized that, wow, that's probably why also that's so strong, because of, I really have to, so to speak, look myself in the eyes. I really have to work through certain things, so and yeah, I feel how it also becomes even easier to stay. I mean, how can I say, not stay, but I'm so curious also at my own growth of understanding, that is, and so on, awareness. And I realized that this one is really the one who could help me grow the most. And so it's really egocentrical. No, I want really, really to love him in all ways, if I could, if I was allowed to. But I really get that. Also the things that I would probably not be as comfortable with, or the things that would challenge my own, I don't know, all kinds of things, self-esteem and all that. Maybe distance as well could challenge it. See that he's like so brilliant. It's like, wow. And there I also see how you could actually stay with one person. I this person intrigues me a lot, and yeah, I've chosen, but I can't choose just by myself, right? And so anyways, I can, and then I have a lot of challenges dealing with that, but anyway, so yes, but we'll see whatever universe happens in the universe. So yeah, so this anyways will always be a challenge. I feel. Oh, I got to yawn. And that is even more fun now, because I realize how that doesn't, I mean, since I have had a little bit struggling relationships before, let's say, you don't ever want it to become all that, and so, But now from this, I don't see how that could be, because there is so much love there, and that is just what it is. I mean, that is nothing more, other things there. And yeah, also not the whole grasping after someone because I realized this is me. In a way, you could say. Although I don't understand or see or feel or anything or everything about him, obviously, which makes me absolutely super curious. But also that how you can, I see that in a different way. How you can actually stay from this whole development perspective, from this whole wish to grow. It would be awesome to stay with one person, and probably more difficult. I'm not saying that is the right way to do it or anything. I'm just myself. I feel like that is what I want to challenge myself with, whatever it is. Because wow, here is what I need. Yeah, and I mean that in not like wow, this is so sugary. No, gosh, sugar is poison, but so like pink clouds things, but that too, hopefully. But I mean more the other things that I know. Wow, this will really, really, really disturb me. I kind of know that for sure, and I know I have to like deal with that, and that I mean that challenge make me really happy. Do you understand what I mean? So to me, it would feel like even those kinds of things that would be problematic would be such a gift to me, and I see it, which is different than before. Yeah, well, maybe I should give you a break now, and also, yeah, I have things to do. Places to go, people to meet now. I don't know. But yeah. This is fabulous. This ride is better than anything, actually. And then I also, when I meet others who struggle more than I do right now, or see, from this whole being like overwhelmed by love and also joy, but still everything is calm. It's like everything is sort of the same. I really, 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 really wish. I always wanted to be there and help if I could and so on. But now I feel like, yeah, it's like because I really see myself when I was there and at that place, and how much I want to, yeah. I wish, I don't have to even say the whole sentence. Okay, I will end for the moment, and I'll get back to you later. Thanks for being there, and so it will be interesting to read comments later on. Not today, and maybe not for quite some time. But when I'm ready, I will read them, and I appreciate them. And still, I will communicate, as I said before. And thank you for subscribing, liking, or disliking, whatever. And as I said, I will pull cards or something like that for you when you have commented, because I see that you have commented, although I don't read them right now. So that will be my sort of response also to you, that you will have some input from me as well. So I will have you choose from a number of so. And then you will get your card. And for everyone, that is, not only those who commented, of course, but if you get what I said now. Oh my. Yeah, how interesting. Yeah, and this was, yeah. I saw this Hobbits. I saw there were those 3 films, and I have seen like 2 of them. I've seen those all 3, but now recently, and I just laugh so much at them now. you know, all those dwarfs, they are so cute. I almost like, I don't know, they are so fun. There is so much humor. I didn't even see that. I saw some on cinema, but I didn't even, I don't know, I must have been without humor at the time, because they are so freaking fun, you know. I mean, I saw there was a lot of violence. I don't know, before I didn't really, and also beautiful scenes, but no, now I just laugh out loud. And also, it's so cute when he tried to, you know, when Bilbo tries to be like flattering to that sort of dragon, Smaug. Is that his name? Yeah. And in Swedish, he said like, what was it now? I'm just, what was it now? Du förnämsta av hemsökelse. The most, not brilliant, but you know, of those. I don't even know how to translate those words. Not one of them. Yeah, it's just so fun, anyways. Yeah, it's just so fun. And also when those little those elves, saw pictures of dwarf's wife and kid, and I don't know, it's just, and just some things they film, how they film them, I just start to laugh. Yeah, it's really, they are really cute, those films. And also, as some have said, quite brilliant. I mean, it's more Lord of the Rings and those, but with the whole system of governments and money and all that, it's more depth into them than I knew or understood before. I usually do look at those things, though, even when they aren't there. I see that in everything. But there I didn't. I was never very much into fantasy or those kinds of films. But now much more so, very much so, it seems. So anyways, yeah. Well, I hope you have a great day and a great moment that would stay forever. And just spend it with me. Thank you so much for that. Okay, talk to you very soon. Bye for now.